Everywhere, GBS. A very warm welcome to Women's View. We always love having your company, and please remember to join the conversation on GBS TV Africa on all platforms. Today we are talking about stay-at-home moms. Are you a stay-at-home mom? Do you know a stay-at-home mom somewhere? Stay tuned to this conversation, and please also join the conversation. I'm joined by two wonderful guests and my co-host Anne. How are you, Anne?
I'm very well, Lillian. Always a pleasure to hang out with you on the show.
Yeah, karibu sana, your namesake.
Yes.
Yeah. And Margaret, I'll ask Anne to introduce herself and then we'll go to Margaret.
Hello viewers, my name is Anne Wamai Mwaura. I am honored to be here. It's such a joy to just hang out with these wonderful people as we speak about a very passionate topic that I love, stay-at-home moms. So I have a platform that encourages stay-at-home moms to tell their story and to network professionally and otherwise. And I have also authored a book called Arise Stay-at-Home Moms. It's a pleasure to be here, Lillian.
Wow, amazing. Welcome, Margaret. Talk to us.
Thank you, Lillian. My name is Margaret Wahome. I'm a counseling psychologist, a mother with a big experience, high experience of staying at home. And I love it. And I am glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me to come. And I wish we are going to have a great time together.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Have you had any experience as a stay-at-home, circumstantial or by choice?
Yes, I have. I mean, a lot of us did in 2020, thanks to COVID. Whether you like it or not, working from home became a reality. And you know, whenever you're home, you've got to combine working and mothering. But that was just a joke. First of all, and congratulations on authoring a book.
Thank you.
That is a dream for very many people, and I'm so happy that you have actually realized it. Yeah, and you'll give us details towards the end. I have worked from home, but I have not used that title, stay-at-home mom, mostly because of maybe what we're going to discuss here today.
Yeah.
But for a period of over 5 years, I used to have an office in my home. So I used to live there and I used to work there. So was I a stay-at-home mom?
I'm not sure. Do you think that qualifies for that title? When you're working from home, is it the same as that thing of being a stay-at-home mom?
I think for me, I like what she started off by saying. Thank God for 2020 COVID. That at least taught us how to work from home.
Yeah.
And I think working from home does not make you a stay-home mom.
Stay-at-home mom. Okay.
Yes, because at least you are doing something. You're working as you take care of your home. I like staying at home, but I know that the discipline of sitting down and working when you have your other house activities waiting for you, it's not easy. It's a discipline. So you should, tap yourself for that and say, I'm great.
Yeah.
I can do both.
There's a title they also use when you're working from home. You're actually a work-at-home mom.
Work-at-home mom.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, Anne, because you have actually authored the book, what would be your best way of describing a stay-at-home mom? Because you can see that a lot of people might even not be sure if they are. Like Lillian, are you a stay-at-home mom?
I'm not sure.
I know, right? Right now, you're not even at home, right?
I'm not even at home right now. Yeah.
So, what is like a good way to define it? You know?
I think stay-at-home mom generally they are misunderstood or even undervalued. And so whoever coined stay-at-home moms wanted to, I don't know, just bring it together and package it in a way that is, acceptable to the society, whatever that means. But I think for you to qualify to be a stay-at-home mom, you must be intentional about staying at home and bringing up your children. Not just, branding yourself stay-at-home mom, yet you're never at home. In the first place, you're all over. Yeah.
I think one of the question that stay-at-home moms have is, what do you do?
Yeah.
Especially at social functions. How do you tackle that question?
Let me give an experience. So, of course, my husband and some of my friends would invite me. So I was a stay-at-home mom for 7 years. Would invite me for maybe cocktails or official meetings and networking platforms. And you would go, and when you meet someone, of course, the first thing is, here is my card. And you can see all the titles. You don't have a card to share. And so you shy away from even talking about what you do. And when someone is asking you, what do you do? They're talking about professionally. That's the answer they want to hear. Yeah. So you just shy away from saying, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm taking care of my children from morning till evening. So I think most of the stay-at-home moms are not confident enough to say that this is actually what we do. And I know that for our generation. Yeah.
And so after that question, if you manage to get to the stay-at-home point, the next thing they ask is, so what do you do all day?
Yeah, that's a very difficult question to answer. I'm looking at the title, Stay-at-Home Mom, and I'm wondering whether it was the housewives, because that's what I know of. That's a title that was there long enough. A housewife, and a stay-home mom. I think it was
I think they're very related.
Yes, and I think it is this stay-at-home. I mean, the housewife that was upgraded.
But what was housewife? What is housewife? Like in your understanding, like
upgrade.
Yes, wife. That doesn't count with the child, with the children, because now stay-at-home mom, there is a title of being a mom, so you already have a child.
Yes.
But for housewives, you may not necessarily have children.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think one of the advantages of trying to really understand is trying to understand what is it that is a stay-home mom. What is it that you want to achieve? And for me was the greatest experience for me was to be able to grow up with my children and to learn them and to know them, and to understand to an extent. And I think where we are going wrong is that stay-at-home mom is where you just sit, take care of your baby, feed them, and it can be very boring. What do you do when the baby sleeps? So I think it is more of it as you as a person who make that choice, because when you're making that choice, make it a choice that you are making with knowledge. This is what I want to do, and this is what I want to achieve. So that when you go out there and somebody is asking you, what do you do? I struggled with it. Having a professional husband and, all over, businessman being all over. And there I was, we go to a function and everybody, they're exchanging cards. And I had to ask, I had to really talk to myself and ask myself, what do I want to say? So I go there and everybody is introducing themselves, what to do. Oh, okay. And gets to me. I take care of my children.
Then there's that awkward moment.
And it's like everybody is looking at you like, oh, you poor husband. But I learned
that poor children. Why poor husband?
Because the husband, you are there to be provided for.
That's another thing that I really wanted us to define. If you're a stay-at-home mom, does it mean that you have no income? The reason I ask is because I find that when you are actually a stay-at-home mom and your child is asleep, or you have these long moments of you can't really activate your goal of being with a child. If you're doing something that is giving you an income, do you qualify to be a stay-at-home mom, or must a stay-at-home mom be the mom who has no income? Is it a defining qualification?
No, it shouldn't be. I don't think it should be, and I will give my experience. My experience was that for those 7 years, I actually began some businesses that were doing very well. I did serviced apartment, I sold clothes, I did online forex trading, I did transport business. I was ferrying children with a small van, and so I think it is very important for a stay-at-home mom to occupy themselves. when the children don't really need them. It's important for them mentally, and I know, Margaret, you can chip into that because you're in psychology. It's very important for the mom to be whole, even mentally, for you to even, fulfill whatever it is that you want to fulfill as a stay-at-home mom.
So were you really a stay-at-home mom? Sorry to ask, because in your opinion, you're a businesswoman.
Yeah, I believe I was.
Why wouldn't you say that I'm a businesswoman when you were asked? Like, I have a business in this and this and this.
All these businesses happened at different intervals, not at a go.
Yeah.
So, for example, for the transport, it started when the children went back to school. And so I would take them to school together with other children and bring them back home.
Yeah.
So between dropping the children to school and picking them, I had so many hours to occupy myself. So what do I do? Because I think most of us, what we do is shelf totally our lives and sit in the house and moan until the next time when you pick up your life.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think, just to answer your question, should a stay-at-home mom, do you qualify just because you don't have money? No. Okay. I think go out there, see what you can do. What are you passionate about? Do you want to bake? Sell the cakes, and it keeps you occupied, and you have a few shillings in your pocket.
Yeah.
So having a toddler, one thing that I think is completely underrated in our society is just playing with your baby, talking to your baby, taking your baby to places. I think many people don't think that it's work, but it's work.
It is a lot of work.
It's involving.
Yes.
It's time consuming.
Yes.
And maybe what I would even just want to put out there is that children are not toys.
No.
Because when she says, I take care of my children, I think people who don't stay at home will wonder, what does that mean? So the work of just interacting with your children is so much work. And how do we break it down to our husbands? Because sometimes the husbands are like, so what have you been doing all day? Me, I've gone for meetings. I've if they're in medicine or in law, they've gone to court or hospital, they've treated 20 people, they've had 20, 30 surgeries.
Yeah.
And you, what have you been doing? And then you try to think, what have I been doing?
I think you also have a story. Now, I'm talking from my own experience.
Sure.
You have been with the children. I mean, you've been at home, so you've done all that you have done, okay? Yeah. So when they come home, they just want you to listen, and I think that's where we miss it out. Yeah. That we start thinking, this person is telling me all this because I have not been doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay? So they are unwinding, they are debriefing of all that they have gone through. But we are there thinking, he's telling me because he thinks I was not doing anything. Give the stories about what happened between you and the baby. It's important.
It's important.
It's exciting for him. Give your own story. You also have your own story. Yeah. You went I know these days people take their children to like a place like Yaya, and for the painting, you go for shopping and all that. You also have a story, and I think that is what we need to understand. Yeah. Even as a stay, I think we need to. And maybe we need to get another name to rebrand.
We need to rebrand.
That name alone changes in your air. It gets to your
psyche.
Yeah. So you don't want when somebody says I am a stay-home mom, you are dead. I mean, all those other things that come with that are heavy. But I'm telling you, just sitting, I did this, it's this person, and even calling people and talking to them. Read, do something, so that at least you also, by the time this person is giving their story, you also have a story. And after that, all of you are happy. And it makes a lot of difference. I think we need to change the way we introduce ourselves to that word. Or maybe change it completely.
Just to build up on what you're saying, I also believe it's really about what defines you as a stay-at-home mom. Do you allow people's opinion, the society, and even your family to define you as a stay-at-home mom and make you feel like you have no self-worth or you have no contribution economically or to the society just because you're a stay-at-home mom. I think we also need to build that confidence and wear that badge with lots of honor and dignity that you're doing such a valuable job and noble job to bring up these children. Yeah.
I like that so much. That view.
Yes.
Because when you think about, for example, Margaret, the kind of relationship you have with your children right now, it is very hinged on the fact that you spend lots of time together. Because the way that children understand love is time, T-I-M-E.
Yeah.
That is why in today's society, you're finding that a lot of children, they're happy and closer to the household.
Yes. And they cry when she goes on leave.
Yes. And I'm saying that not as a judgment, but as a reality and a practicality, because this is a person they hang out with the whole day. This is a person their child is themselves with.
Yeah.
So even you, when the mom who's working away from home comes, the child can't be fake. Okay, they'll say hi to you formally. You do your formal thing.
Yeah.
And then they're off to the kitchen to hang around who?
The nanny.
The nanny.
Because if their children want anything, it's the nanny who knows how they want it, when they want it. Yeah.
And that's a loss as a mom, you know. I say this because recently, towards the end of last year, there's a lady who she actually put it on social media. She was the producer of the show that was very popular in New York called Sex and the City. She was the producer. And she said that at 66, she regrets having worked and neglected the children. This is not like a hearsay. She actually put it on social media out there. And of course, all the men who want their wives to stay home and the wives are refusing. Or had a field day with that one because they're like, I think this is the future. It will be regretting. You know, it's very interesting because there are two types of men. There are those who want their wives to do that, but their wives don't want. Then there are those whose wives do that and they don't want because they feel like there's a loss of income. But it's good that you've clarified that the fact that you're staying at home to be with your children does not mean you cannot have an income generating activity. In fact, I feel that you have such an opportunity. Look at you are doing transport.
Yes.
Look at the hours you're keeping. You're only working in the morning and in the evening.
Yeah.
And you're making money and then you have a whole free day.
Yeah.
Do you know people who work from 8 to 5, they don't have that luxury. It is a luxury.
Yeah.
And then you did forex trading.
Yeah.
Maybe people want to do it, but do they have the time? Why? Because if you're in an 8 to 5 job, you have to beat traffic in the morning and then be in traffic again. So me, I think that the people who should be jealous of stay-at-home moms are working away from home moms.
Yeah.
Yes, and secretly by there they are. Most of the people who are in the corporate world and in businesses very busy doing all that, they secretly wish they could just be home with their children. Yes, they do. They do. Well, the ones who are staying at home, they peep into the corporate world. And they're thinking, the 6-inch, the what? Yeah, it looks all that. And I think I want to reiterate on your identity. What defines you? Yeah, and it could be generic. What defines you as a woman, as a human being? Because that then allows you to be confident and comfortable in whatever season you are in life. And I strongly believe that being a stay-at-home mom is a season in life. It's a season where your children are there, and for me it's like a 7-window season because, and especially if you're having like 2 children, I mean, you could have more. But in my case, for 7 years, I had my 2 children and they were already in school. And so I'm left to figure out now, what do I do with the rest of my life?
Yeah,
so
because when they go to school now you're really actually quite free.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a season. And what I advocate for is make that season count. Make that season count. Be intentional in being available for those children. Let them run to you instead of the house help. You know, let them cling on to you instead of that house help. Yeah,
that is so refreshing, isn't it? She's unpacking it for us.
I'm also looking at it just to build up on what Anne has said. Most of us may not be business minded. Maybe we cannot even sell a banana. It's not, we are not gifted in that. But it's always good to identify, as she says, something that you as a person likes doing.
Yes.
You may be a person who you do like maybe where you are in a place where maybe you may not be able to do because of the compound. you may not be able to do flowers and all that. But wherever you are, you like, maybe you like reading, okay? Talking to people, call, do mails, try even writing a book, try something. Yeah. Sit down and just maybe analyze yourself, know what you like best, to do. We may also be very careful that we are not using this title of stay-home mothers as a way of escaping from our laziness.
Yeah. Thank you for that point.
Because some of us may not, work, it's work.
Yeah.
So anything that would take us away from working, it's welcome anytime. People who just like sitting down, sleeping, waking up, taking care of themselves,
watching TV,
TV, and they would be next
series.
Yes,
Netflix.
They know the one that comes next. They know, they can give all the stories. So we have also to be careful that we are not hiding our laziness behind stay-home mothers. Yeah. So that at least we also have a balance. We have also to, as you say, we have to discover ourselves.
Yeah.
That should also be an opportunity for us to discover ourselves.
Yeah.
But when you find that things are tight, you can also be, it has to be an agreement between the two of you. I'm staying home, you are working. But you have also to appreciate the person who is working. Let the person also feel that whatever they are contributing is worth. Not coming home and there is no place for what they have and have been doing the whole day.
That's true.
Yeah, so
There's a movie called Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And so the husband reaches a point, so he really rises in his career, but the wife is stay at home. Though for them now they don't have children.
Okay.
Then one time he just tells her, "You're just eating my money. Toka, enda, bye." So she goes to her grandmother. Her grandmother is Madia. You know Madia?
Yeah.
So she goes to the grandmother asks her, "How much money have you left that marriage with?" She says, "Nothing. I wasn't making any money." And then the grandmother says, "But you've been cooking, you've been cleaning, you've been attending parties, accompanying him when he asks you to. Have you ever billed him for those services?" And she says, "No, I haven't." So the grandmother makes her go and rob his house. That is not the Christian. That's not the point. The point is, should husbands give a salary to their to their wives if they are stay at home?
That's a very good question. Because at the school where I work, there's once a lady came with her son, and she was shopping for a school for him. And she was not from Kenya, I think she was from West Africa. And she basically told me, as I'm getting to know her, because she was taking an admission, she basically told me her work is to take care of her son. And for that, her husband pays her. And they also have like targets. And when the targets are met, she gets like a bonus. And when they're not met, she loses. So she's very motivated to work and make sure that the Kasan is thriving because there's a pay. And I was like, "Your husband pays you for that?" She was like, "Yes, he pays me for this work that I do. It's a good, important work." And she was so proud, and I was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
Why stay-at-home mom? They should bill their husband.
They should
I
bill
totally agree with my grandmother. That's the thing that I'm saying.
This is what I would say. If the husband can afford it, why not? Okay, but if the one income is stretched, then of course the mom should understand. But there should be a way that also the husband appreciates the wife. Like now, International Women's Day. What are the men planning for this stay-at-home mom? So I think that it's about give and take. Give and take, and just appreciating that you're doing something when you're here in the house. So yes, if the husband can afford, why not?
And especially in those cases where the husband has specifically, like they've had a meeting and requested the wife maybe to leave work because now you're pregnant and he wants you to be there for the child. So you're making me leave a paying job. It's because I'm coming to work here, therefore I should be paid. What do you think, Margaret?
I'm looking for this employer. We're supposed to be
especially in the Kenyan context and African context.
And I think more to it is what we agree, both of us. That you see, my needs will be different.
Yeah.
I have to do my hair, I have to do my nails, I have to visit, I have to go do this, I have to go out with my children, we have to buy something. You know, will I be coming back to you and saying, we are doing this, we are doing this. So it's between you to agree, you know, as I stay here, you know, maybe so that I don't bother you every now and then. Can we maybe agree on something that at least is part of what we have in our budget now? That's the time for the budget.
Yeah.
And you know, can we agree that this goes to me so that at least I'm able to do whatever I need to do without always going back to you? That's understandable.
Yeah.
But if you bring it in terms of you have to pay me for taking care of our children, to some, maybe there it is understandable, but to me and my husband asking me to pay him, I mean, for him to pay me to take care of our children, I think that may not. But when we are doing your budget and agree that, yes, I'm at home, I need to be doing this, so that at least this becomes part of our budget, so that we know whether we can afford or not. But not where you are, you know, it will become like a demand.
Yeah.
Once you give me 100, tomorrow I'll be asking for 200.
Yeah.
I have an experience of those families that the husband does, you know, not very those manual jobs.
Okay.
And one of the experiences that I have gotten to hear is when the husband is leaving home, he has maybe to leave 100 or 50 shillings.
Yes.
So this mother has been trained to know that it is 50 shillings for the food.
Yes.
You know, so that will buy, you know, for them, you know, it's where you buy for the day.
Yes.
That's it. So this woman has gotten more wiser. That today I can be able to save even maybe 10 shillings. And that's what they keep for themselves. That mother will always be in the shamas for the women. She always be in those other, you know, involved in other commitments. So I think even as women, we also have to be wise so that we don't look at this person as you know.
Resentment.
Yes. That, you know, I am doing it for you. Those are your children. When you label me as an employer in the house.
Yeah, I know. And I'm the employee.
And I'm the employee.
Yeah.
It doesn't. But it is very, very helpful for you to agree in your budget that there is what comes to me. And you know, all of it goes back to the family.
The family.
Yeah,
and maybe the issue of access is what also counts, so that you don't have to keep asking.
Yes.
You can be given access. Either you get a debit card or you get, you are able to sign a check, or it comes to your account so that you manage it. Not that, you know, what you keep on saying, that I want to go to the salon, give me. I want to go to the, give me. You know, that even for you as a person, there's some indignity about it.
Every time you have to ask for the smallest detail. And just before we go to the break, maybe we can talk about what's the role, just in very brief before we go to the break, what's the role of a husband? How does the husband feed into the stay-at-home mom for those who are still, you know, married? And I don't know if it's possible to be a stay-at-home when you're not married, but how does the husband feed into the stay-at-home recommended?
I think he plays a very strong supportive role, a very strong supportive role, and it's in the very simple things. For example, what you were talking about, when he comes home in the evening and he wants just to talk about how his day was, allow him to talk about it, and he allows you to talk about it without, you know, questioning exactly what were you doing the whole day. Let me also tell my story, no matter how small it looks. Even if I'll just tell you, you know, I was singing lullabies for the children, that's fine. That's how my day was. You know, I was cooking porridge for the children. So I think he plays a very strong supportive role where a stay-at-home mom is concerned.
I'll agree with Anne. If like now you allow him to be, then you will also be able to, you are the one and the children reaping the benefits. So I think for him to be able to appreciate, you have also to make it look like it's something that it needs to be appreciated. So when he comes home and you are there for him and the children, and you are not, all the depressions and all that, or the anxieties and all that you are not carrying in, it's like you're not waiting to empty to him. I think you as a woman play a very big role to make him appreciate that you're at home with the children, taking care of them, and you're doing the most noble thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. With that, we are going to go to the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
This is Chungu cha Jamii. It's our world, our country, our society and community. We talk about marriage, we talk about finances, we talk about parenting, we talk about the boy child, the girl child, we talk about mothers-in-law, we talk about the prisons, we talk about schools, everything that concerns you in the society. We're going to be discussing about resisting peer pressure. We want to talk about why do young people go against authority. I am going to be discussing with you COVID-19 lessons. Today we are talking about molding character in children. We offer solutions. We bring in experts, we bring in psychologists to tell us more on how to handle our problems.
When COVID happened in March, there was a lot of information on what to do.
Come to this place at Chungu cha Jamii on the round pot, have some soup and talk about the issues in our community.
The parent, the child, and the teacher must work together in order to inform that child. It doesn't matter how far you've gone, even if you feel like it's too late.
Check the child's behavior. If just something slight changes, don't ignore it.
We are meant to live in peace.
Get to understand yourself. Get to understand your thoughts.
Thank you, viewer. I am glad that many of you have been watching and sending in the comments.
Echo Mziki right here on your #1 TV station, GBS TV. My good name is Hypola the Experience. You can call me Moja Sai. Ukumazel the best TV ever. Lafu shoni gani Echo Mziki SMS line 21144.
Tunakuchezea zile ngoma mpya zenye zimekuwa zikitokea hii wiki.
Anytime ulizia vila god nikulia na wakinikeuzia I know you got me girl, yeah you got me girl. Kautam Nikisa maneno nasikia kautam akiwa nauliza gospel imedu Bisa CMC we have to do So Bible now we hand so we physically, spiritually, lyrically, mentally
Leo manze tuko na wasanii wa deli ndani ya nyumba. Tuko na muziki kali, tuko na countdown kali. Yaani kila kitu leo iko fresh. Chukua sharubati, ni juice hapo, mpaka nguju ya meza.
Triple. Tumia mtu salamu pale mali unakulanga chapo dogo.
Nani mimi? Walifunga.
Everywhere, GBS.
All right, welcome back to the show. Remember that we are on social media. The handle is GBS TV Africa. And if you want to send us a question, the SMS number you can use is 21144. So that was very interesting, where we were talking about, basically what kind of support the spouse, in this case most of the times the husband, needs to give to the wife. So I wanted to give my story because I was working from home for a long time, and so when the children went back to school, I continued to work from home. But I found that I had a need for human interaction because I've been at home the whole day, so I'm basically, the people around at home, I'm working, I'm not like talking to them and having chit chats, going out to bask in the sun. You know, those two things people do in the office. Trying to figure out where they're going to buy lunch today. And so when my husband would come home, I would be very needy in terms of wanting to talk to him. Because I've not had somebody to talk to the whole day. He, on the other hand, he's been in meetings. He's talked, he's chatted, laughed, done all that. So when he comes home, he wants to rest. So I found that to be a very unbalanced situation, which is why I specifically left working from home and got an office in town so that I could be able to have that human interaction on a daily basis. So that, when I get home, he's tired, so am I.
Wow. Yeah. So for you, it was a pro-marriage decision that you mixed with business.
Yes.
Wow. What do you think about that imbalance of a wife who is so needy for their husband to come back, and the husband is like, I just want to eat, shower, sleep?
I like what she has said, but I think also that one of the things is for you yourself to identify exactly what you like doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Create your own circle of friends where you are able to talk to them. If don't dismiss your friends. Some of them maybe you may not be very comfortable talking to them. If you have your mother around, talk to her. Talk to your sisters. If you have, talk to your relatives. At least make sure that you have something that you are also doing. Visit. For me, one of the activities that I had were Bible studies. I was in Bible study. I was in church ministry. So I was always having something to do. So I never looked at a point where I needed to interact and wait for my husband so that I can talk to him. I think I had trained myself that he is too tired, he has been working the whole day. And even for his business, his profession, you come, he has his own way of really like talking to his own relatives. And I think for me, I would really encourage those who are stay-home mothers to try and identify for themselves their own circle, where or an activity that they themselves can do. So that not ignoring this person. They need, maybe he also needs somebody to talk to. But don't get irritated that he comes home and he's on the TV, he's on himself, and all that.
So what do? You are irritated. It's not something you can...
What she said is that instead of being irritated, seek a solution outside of your husband. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
Jipe Shugli.
Yes.
Okay.
He's also a human being.
Get a life. So that when he comes, he's not all your life, because that is a burden on any human.
It is.
So get a life. And I don't know, how does that sound?
I'm trying to figure out why this stay-at-home mom in the first place is not trying to go out there and to get a life, okay? Because along the way, there are realities for stay-at-home moms that need to be dealt with. And maybe I can talk about the struggles, the real struggles that stay-at-home moms go through. And they could be internal, and internal it could be spiritual, that you haven't figured out your relationship with God, It could be intellectual. You're wondering, okay, why exactly did I go to school? Why do I have my first degree, my second? Why do I have my PhD? Just to come and take care of the children? It could be emotional. You're having a lot of emotional turmoils that you don't have time to sit and figure your life out. So those are internal struggles. It could be external struggles that now, because you have babies, you're looking at your body, for example, and you have all these struggles. Like for me, I'll give an example. Mine was both internal and external. External, I would go to the mirror and look at my face. I had adult acne that I really struggled with. Okay, so even calling a friend and telling them, oh, by the way, can we have tea? I'm thinking, my face, how do I show up? Okay, I gained quite a bit of weight, and I felt I needed to shed this before even getting out there. So those were real struggles that I needed to deal with before getting out there. Now, for most of them, you are in these struggles forever. Okay, but we need to get to a point where enough is enough. I have acne, I need to deal with it. Do I need to see a dermatologist? Do I need to cover it with makeup? Whatever I need to do to get out there, then it needs to be done. If I have added weight and I need to cut off this weight, do I need to enroll in a gym? For me, that was not an option, because this budget that we had, that was one, could not allow me to do that. Because I had to choose between, do you want to go to the gym? Do you want to go back to school? What is priority for you? So if I'm not going to the gym, what do? I bought a skipping rope and I would skip. It wasn't easy initially. I couldn't even do 50 skips. you know. But with consistency and with time, I found myself doing 600 in a day.
Wow.
And the weight came down. So I think before we try to get out there and get a life, let's figure out what struggles are you going through and what can you do to get over these struggles. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thought I had over this weekend, a friend of mine in the film industry was taking us to see Nyumba Amejengea Mama. That is how he described it. So we looked at each other like, Mama as in your mother? Your mother? He said, no, my wife. So it was a very nice house, Uko in Isiolo, a very interior place. And behind his back, we were asking each other, even if you hate your spouse so much, why would you want to throw them in such an interior place? So the wife is there are no hospitals nearby. I mean, it was just a very interior place. So what I was thinking about is this lady is a stay-at-home mom, and she probably doesn't have a say in the decisions that this man makes. But then, you know, if she tries to say what she likes, the question will be, you are not even contributing.
Hey. No.
To
that
this,
is the wrong approach.
To this, but there are people who are in such a setting whereby you stay at home, take care of the kids, take care of me as the husband, and I will make the decisions because I am making the money. How will such a woman talk to that woman who is watching us and she's in that trap? It's like a trap, because you're staying at home, you're comfortable, aren't you? You know, how does she now develop her voice in the space of her husband?
Yeah, me, that's why I'm always like, man, you better have your own salon. Something to just fall back on. Anyway, I don't know whether that is maybe not answering the question. But you see, the thing is that the society has that warped way of looking at things as the person who has the money is the one who makes the decisions. Yeah. Also, it's because we're not able to put value into the work that we do, you know, the chores that you do at home. But now to even throw a spanner into the works, it's actually that even when you're a stay-at-home mom, it doesn't mean that you're doing the housework, to be very honest. Because a lot of times you have one or two house helps. And just to take the devil's advocate on this, aren't there men who feel a bit, I don't know whether to use the word cheated. Con, like they're being con. Like these are called, like, okay, cool. You're staying at home, you have a lot of help, and like they feel like, isn't there a resentment also? Like they also from feel the side of the men. In terms of like, you're home, you have a lot of help, and you're also complaining a lot and whatever, you know. Yeah. Or how should the men handle?
Are those two questions, Anne?
I don't know whether they are even five or what. You know.
No, my question was, there's a woman who is feeling trapped because she doesn't mind taking care of the family, but now the husband is not letting her make decisions that involve money.
Yeah, because he resents her. He resents her because he goes home and he goes to work and he makes all the money, and he pays still for help and everything. All the mortgages on him, all the house helps on him because you're taking care of the children. So he is making the decision sometimes because he feels entitled to.
Okay.
Yeah. But how do you bring in your voice there?
Yeah.
I think it's bringing in your voice.
Yeah.
And I think it's where it all starts with both of you. Are you talking? Because when you're talking, somebody will be excited to tell you, oh, we have this place, can we put up a house? And I'll give my own example. There was a time that we wanted to put up a home in Roiro.
Okay.
Then in the process, we had now to go on a rainy, in a rainy season to see where we are putting up the house. And we couldn't get to the place where, the plot was.
Yeah.
So we had to change our mind because it meant if we get that place, if we go build there, then even he himself will not be able to go to work.
In the morning he'll be stuck.
Yeah, he'll be stuck. So I think it's where, you are in terms,
yeah,
and you can be able to talk about your developments.
Yeah,
because if you drag me to a place just because you're the one who is, you know, making the money, then, you know, I may not be comfortable. But it's something that you agree, both of you. It may be interior, but it is a place where if I go there, I'll be able to do some things. I'll grow vegetables and sell, so I'll be comfortable. But it has to be something that both of, because you are excited, there is a home that is coming up. So our question here is to ask ourselves, at what point did this person start doing things without involving you? What happened?
And did they start demeaning you, looking at you as of lesser value because you're not bringing the money? I mean, even the children in the house, do they work? No. But do you demean your children? No. So why are you demeaning your wife?
So how do you say no to that?
You have to voice that. If you feel it coming, I think you have to voice and say that I'm feeling as though I'm not being given a chance. You've got to be vulnerable.
Okay.
And say, I'm feeling, the relationship is at a point where I'm feeling, because I'm staying at home, which is a decision we have agreed on, like I'm not having a lot of say in the decision making, yet I do want to have a say, and yet I do even have the skill and the expertise to contribute. Because remember, these women who are staying at home, they are middle-class women who have gone to school. You do have a degree and even sometimes a master's, which could be in finance or even real estate, and you have a valuable contribution. So when you start feeling like that, you know, what is the tendency? It is to keep it in and not voice it.
Okay.
It starts to believe it. And then those beliefs, they start to become your reality. Maybe your husband has no idea that that's how you're feeling. So you've got to voice it. And then you also come up with a solution of, for example, what she said. If you're building here, let's go together. You see, as you're there together, you can see, oh, we're stuck. Okay, let's not build here. You see, you've both decided.
Yeah, and I guess also showing interest. I also think that.
Yeah,
just being interested. What are you doing? What's going on?
What are you thinking?
Can I come and see?
Yes.
You know, yeah. And you had something to say?
No, I'm just trying to figure out. When do you get to such a point as, you know, as a stay-at-home mom, or, you know, generally? How do you get to that point where your opinion doesn't matter, you know? Because I think at times also you allow it to happen to you. Like Anne is saying, if it happens the first time, the second time you try to raise your voice and, you know, you're toned down, and so you decide, I'm going to keep all these things to myself, and so you will never be consulted when a decision is made. I think we also allow ourselves to get to that level. So I would encourage the stay-at-home mom, raise your voice, raise your hand. Don't just be invisible. Be seen, be heard.
Wow.
That is very, very important. Yeah.
Okay, we're receiving some questions, and I see I am blessed to not have to work and worry about money. However, I'm constantly bashed, belittled, and criticized for my choice to stay at home with my daughter. Even more disheartening, the constant bashing comes from my own mother. She says things like, why don't you get a job and set an example, and you have too much time on your hands, get a job. What would you say to this viewer?
I think she needs to come out and say that it is my decision. If she is, and she doesn't show any struggles. You see, when we invite people to give their opinions, it's because of what we are saying. Okay? So I may be complaining, and you know, people, when you complain to them, they'll try and give you the quickest solution. Even to your mother, of course, she'll feel sorry for you.
Get a job.
Yeah, get a job. Stop complaining, get a job. So I think for her is to be content with the decision and to be happy with the decision that she has made, and be ready to answer and give it as a decision that she herself has made. Yeah, because if you involve us, we will always give our opinions. That's my take.
And I think also, even if it's not a decision she has made, at least for that season of her life, do you think she needs to now make it look like it's a decision? Because I think if you're very uncomfortable, like you said, you do invite a lot of advice and bashing. But if you show like you're comfortable, other people will respect that that position, even if it wasn't your decision for real, but you're acting like it's your decision. All right.
I think it's more of also accepting that this is the season I am in, and it's okay, and I will give it my best shot. Yeah, it's a season, it will pass. Yeah.
Okay. I envy those who love to stay home and raise their kids during their working week. I've done it for 5 years now with 2 children, but it really wasn't for me. Taking a year or 2 in the home probably would have been a better balance for me, but the isolation, the falling behind, the losing myself to motherhood, because people only started asking me about kids and my husband about all of his achievements, passions, and social life, and the constant, repetitive, monotonous, long days that had really spun me into anxiety and depression. I think maybe, these are 2 things. Is it for everyone? And also, how do you deal with anxiety and depression and isolation and all those things she's talking about?
And I like Margaret's life, because there's this thought that once you're a stay-at-home mom, that you can never come back into the professional life and give it your best. That is a big lie. That is a very, very big lie. And I must say that a lot of women, one thing you have to realize is that being at home gives you a lot of skills and a lot of EQ, which you don't even get at the workplace. And so sometimes when you do it, and then when the season is over, you come back to the professional field, even what you felt you had lost, you catch up so quickly and overtake. It is amazing. And look at you. That's your life now. Now the people who used to maybe think they're so ahead, now you're even ahead of them. A lot of the women I know who have PhDs, quite a lot of them actually were stay-at-home moms for a period, and then they came back and went to school, and now they're even more educated than. So I think it's a lie that we usually need to be aware of that lie. What do you think, Margaret?
Let me just give my own story. As I stayed home with my children, one of the things that I really wanted to do was to make sure that they were growing up around me, especially. I didn't even think about that they needed their father. But I felt that I needed to bring them up, to be very, very close. And I was looking at where I was coming from. My mother was very close to us, and there is nothing she used to tell us, or to do. But just because she was there, we could see her, she was around us. My dad was not there. My father was a sub-chief, and where they are stationed in far away places from home, that I got only to see my dad after now he retired and came home.
Okay.
And we were trying to get our dad back, this father. We didn't even know him. And as little children, you believe everything that your mother, our mother was like the person around us. And so when now I was around my children, I didn't want that gap. I really wanted to be there for them. I wanted to listen to them and to take care of them. So my work was to take them to school, come, do what I am doing, even before the school, if 3:30, I am outside, the school. My son was in St. Mary's. So I could start there to wait. My daughter was at Loreto Convent, Valley Road. So I have always been there for them and, taking them around and all that. Now, the question of whether I needed to be doing something different, it never occurred. I felt giving quality to each one of them. Now, when it came to going back, after now they were there and I wasn't with, I needed to do something. I remember one time sitting down with my son and telling him, now you guys, I wish you have finished school. If you had finished school, I'd go back to school. And he told me, Mom, do what you want to do. In the next 4 years, you will not have us.
Wake up call.
And I went back to school, and I remember when I went to St. Paul's, I had registered for a degree in leadership and management. I didn't know what it was. I thought, I've been in church doing leadership, this will help me to be a better leader. And I found there was so much information, there was so much that was there. And when I came out, and after I finished and graduated, I joined an organization where I volunteered. And it's called the Kenya Students Christian Fellowship, because I've always worked with young people. So in that place, I discovered that at least there is a way that what I have, that we have inbuilt gifts.
Yes.
And my gift is counseling and encouraging. So I realized I could go back to school and do a master's. So I went back to school and did a master's in counseling psychology. Look at where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Taking care of children. And I had also, because I wanted to be a better mother still, I did early childhood.
Look at that. You are so skilled for your stay-at-home position.
And I was amazed the things that I used to see with my son, that they were the same things I was now learning, where I was very protective.
Yeah.
Don't touch water, because that's what I had seen with my other sisters. Don't touch water, you get sick. And when I went to school is when now I realized that when they are touching that water, there is something that is happening to their fingers. And I was excited to do that course. And, I could draw pictures, and I would put them to my son. I was meant to draw a dog, and I asked him,
what does it look like?
It's a goat. He would laugh at it, I do something, and I discovered a lot of things. I was in bookshops collecting books for him to read. I could read with him. I could learn, the way we see them now trying to write. He could come from school with homework of joining the dots. And I found that to be, why isn't the teacher not telling you to just write one, So I learned a lot, and I had time to do a lot. And here I am, from not having any profession to being a counseling psychologist. So I think for you have to really understand who you are. I think we are losing ourselves in this thing of marriage. And we forget ourselves, we forget who we are. Our energies are in our husbands who are moving on. Moving on, kabisa. And there we are. You are stuck with your husband. I think as women, let's arise, and I like her title. Let's arise. Discover who we are, what are our energies, even that child, growing up, understanding that child. You'll be able even to help somebody else. Don't put your energies, I'll tell women this, don't put your energies in your husband and in your children. Also be who you are. Discover yourself.
Wow.
You have greatness in you that you never discover if you just sit. You wake up one morning and you have been taken to the interior.
I know. Look at that. Hey, shock on you.
Yes. You have to be, and that's how even our husbands, you respect us. They don't want to come home and find somebody who is dying, that you need to put into them energy.
Wow.
Let's arise.
Imagine our time is up. So I'll just ask Anne to do her parting shot, and then we can end the show.
I think my parting shot would be on something we may not have touched on, but maybe we have, on transitioning from just being a stay-at-home mom when the children have left home, either left the nest or they have gone to school, to being, to doing something else actively. That transition also at times bogs the stay-at-home mom's minds, and you're wondering, transitioning to what? Is it to corporate world? Is it to business? What is this? And what do I need to do to get there? And I want to talk about what you need to do, whatever it is you need to do. Like Margaret went back to school. I went back to school, and I think that's how I managed to get into consultancy work. Go back to school if you need to go back to school. Do an entrepreneurship course if you need to start business. Whatever it takes, as a stay-at-home mom who wants to transition, you have to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So viewers, thank you so much for being with us today. Remember that you need to read that book, and the most important word, I think, is the word arise. That is really the key thing. Arise, stay-at-home mom, and look at the potential, the possibilities, and then run with it and enjoy the fulfillment that comes with being who you are.
And I think to get the book, you can download the book. It's a free guide at www.arisesahm.com. arisesam.com.
Awesome. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.